Good morning. Whew, my better half's here today, so we're going to have a fun show for you. We are going to be talking about married to ministry, right? That's what you are.
Yep, something like that, yeah.
So first of all, what you got in your coffee over there?
Can't tell you. Kid show.
Oh my gosh. It's not even 5 o'clock anywhere or noon. So what's in there?
French vanilla sugar-free creamer in my coffee this morning. How's your cup?
And you made mine for me. Thank you so much, honey. What is in here?
Can't tell you. Coffee, peppermint mocha something.
Very good.
Cream.
Very good.
In the blender.
In the blender. Did you do anything this week for to show someone kindness or love through their love language? You know, you know what the love languages are, right?
I heard them. We read it sometime.
Yeah.
Sure, I don't know.
Acts of service is mine. So did you do anything?
Oh yeah, I put the dishes away this morning.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Let's see what else.
Thank you.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yours is words of affirmation, right? Physical touch. I thought those were your top two.
Whatever.
Yeah. So I tried to give those to you all the time. Oh, awesome. And okay, for those of you who haven't seen him yet, look at this sexy bald head right here. He is.
Yeah, apparently I was like the beginning of the discussion last week with Mike Hoffman. So Michael, you can do it too. I heard you've always wanted to.
And then we learned about that scar that he has. You know, I learned new things about people all the time. I mean, you don't have any scars. But that is a great bald head, I'll tell you. I love it.
You're stuck with it, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, and then keeping the beard. Fantastic. Wow. So, you know, we've been married 13 years. It'll be 13 years in September. And that whole time I've been working in ministry. So what's that been like? Is that what
So have I. Well, I don't get paid. Pennies in heaven, right? Pennies in heaven.
You know, go pennies in heaven. I mean, some way we got to get you there. You know,
be a millionaire someday.
You're gonna have a mansion. You know, the more gold pennies you have in heaven, that's the bigger mansion you have in there in heaven.
I need a mansion. Then I got to clean it.
Well, what have been some of the blessings of having a spouse working in ministry, and then what are some of the challenges?
Well, you're like Catholic royalty, so wherever we go, everybody. Oh, Amy Cummings. Oh, that's her.
Stop it.
Yeah. Oh, are you Amy Cummings' husband? No, she's my wife. What are you? Yeah. No, it's been fun. We've got to do lots of different things. You know, I like ministry too, but Amy tells me only one of us can work in ministry at a time, so I'm out. I gotta go find some corporate.
That was like a prenup. We both cannot work in ministry at the same time. End of story. No. We agreed to this from the beginning. We have gotten to do a lot of fun things together because of working in ministry, also because of the flexibility. I mean, I think that's one of the gifts, a little bit of ministry is some of the flexibility that you have, but there's also times that it is super busy and super stressful. What? And
never.
And the schedule can be a little bit funky, for lack of a better word, right?
Yeah, it's different trying to navigate that when, you know, you've got a 7:00 at night meeting and it's like, okay, well, so did I, but what now? What do we do? We got a 5-year-old now. What do we do? So it's definitely interesting at times.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, one of the joys is that we met in ministry.
I married my boss.
That's right, you did. Yeah, and I before, you know, we started dating or anything, I was able to run a background check on him, and so I knew that.
I didn't even know how old she was until almost after we were married.
Now, come on. It was just before we were engaged. So he's a lot older. No. younger than me, which is why I tell him keep some of that gray.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to shave my beard off, so I decided to shave my hair off instead. So I look too much younger than her. Oh. Sorry, I look my age sometimes.
Yeah, I know you do. It's awesome. But I think that's a beautiful thing that we did start out to get to know each other through working in ministry. You came as a core team member for our Steubenville St. Paul conference and worked in first aid. And I think that would be a recommendation I would give to anyone who is looking for a spouse. Oh my gosh, come volunteer at the Steubenville conferences. It could be a great way to meet
It's been known to happen on more than one occasion that the significant other was found at the St. Paul or Rochester or just Rochester this year conference. So it doesn't happen everywhere. It happens at ours, just saying. Pick where you want.
Oh. And I think that's a great place to get to know someone. We're working for the Lord, so we both had that in common, of course. And then we just built our relationship. We could build on that as we moved through our relationship. I think for me, one of the challenges of working in ministry a challenge on our marriage has been specifically summer. And, basically from May to...
You mean conference season?
Yeah, conference season.
It's not summer. We don't get summer. We get conference season.
Okay.
From May till the end of August.
No, it's in the middle of... I have to say one thing about COVID was, we didn't have our conferences last summer, which is very sad at many, many levels. But I got to tell you, to have a summer was like, woo! Like I felt like, oh, this is glorious. I just had a summer and just really 9 to 5 hours and built this beautiful garden out here you helped me with, slave away on. So I think that's the challenge is the summer months because of the Steubenville conferences. There is a lot of time commitment from me. And a lot of, just 2 weekends, complete full weekends of being at the conferences. And
2 complete weekends usually means starting like Wednesday or Thursday through like midnight Sunday.
Yeah, that's what that means. Yeah. And then when we were doing On the Lake, that was 3 weekends back to back. That was,
it was awesome.
So grace filled.
It was awesome. But...
So I think that, I think it took us a couple years to kind of navigate that summer schedule and some of the things that happened within that, like miscommunication or me not communicating at all.
I told you I said that. You didn't say what? I had no idea you were.
These arguments ensued, right? Or I expected him to be someplace and he wasn't. And he's like, well, you didn't tell me. And I was like, I thought I did. I meant to. So our communication getting all botched up.
Joint calendar would be nice.
Yeah, that is a suggestion I was going to have at the end here of some way people could solve some of these problems in ministry.
So hard to do with like Google and Outlook and all those things. It's just so difficult to get on the same page for everything.
Sometimes it is. And we had to acknowledge that working for ministry and having the conferences, it's all about saving souls. And so we know that the devil, the evil one, is just going to be pounding on us, and where to hit us, I think most significantly is through our marriage. And I hear this all the time from other couples who one of them does ministry, whether it's the wife or the husband, and that we have to be prayed up. We have to be receiving the sacraments. We have to be
confession and make sure we get that. And there's definitely some grace that comes with that as well. It's not all doom and gloom.
No.
Good. Your poor family though has taken quite a bit over the years.
Yes, my we used to call our hobby farm Reparation Ranch, if that gives you any indication. Like we felt like and there are just things that happen. Like I can remember some years I've gotten into a little fender bender, nothing, no major accidents, praise God, but just these little things that happen just that week or 2 or months around the conferences. and to not, get bent out of shape about it, but to say, okay, this is just the evil one. And we pray to the Holy Spirit to cover us and protect us. And also just to offer a lot of grace to your spouse, grace that, because we're usually more tired. We have a lot of issues we're solving. For me, I'm solving at the office, and I can come home exhausted and not want to make any other decisions. None. No. I don't want to decide where we're going to eat. I don't want to decide.
What do you want for dinner? I don't care. Okay, fine. How about some manwich? I don't want that.
Right. And you share a little heavier load of household tasks during those months too. And so that is really helpful. So looking for ways that you can help your spouse when they have those seasons, those of more stress and more responsibility, and maybe even travel. And I think for a lot of youth ministers, summer is a time where you travel a lot, whether it's mission trips, the Steubenville conference, other conferences, or World Youth Day, whatever your church and parish is doing for youth ministry that requires extra time from the youth minister. Find ways to support them, love them, do things for them that really fill their love tank. And I know, like Mike and I talked a couple weeks ago about your love language. That's a great way to fill your spouse's tank, their love tank, in an easy way. You're going to be successful at it if you're doing it, if you're catering to what their love language is.
And don't forget that during these busy times and leading up to things, like, you still got to take time for each other, like date night. We have a 5-year-old, so one of our date nights not too long ago was going to grocery shopping in Menards. That was it. That was date night, and it was wonderful. So we just got to spend time together, and we laughed and joked and had fun, and nobody crashed anything, so it was good.
That's very true. Very true.
But yeah, make sure you take time. I feel that I may be a little more blessed because I traveled with Net Ministries for a year as a missionary. So I kind of understand the working in ministry side of things. So I may be a step up on some who don't have someone that worked in ministry or, whatever for a spouse. Make sure you take time with each other during these busy times, whatever that is. Movie in the evening, just nothing vegging, just spending time together. It doesn't have to be something big and extravagant. And if you work in ministry, you probably can't afford to do anything big and extravagant anyway. So
that's true.
Now that places are open like the Mall of America, you go taste the gelato. When we were young and poor, you go taste the gelato, then you go to the cheese place, then you walk over to the tea spot and maybe get a sample at each one of those places. And
don't forget Godiva.
You go,
your truffle, your free
they don't
truffle
always give those out anymore. So I just
you have to buy, I think, so much chocolate now, like $30 or something worth of chocolate.
I don't get that. And I certainly don't get that. Even though I'm voluntold every year to help out on these things, like
nothing, no chocolate. Huh? I could get you some chocolate. I think for the person who's working in ministry too, is to be really clear in conversation about expectations and about what's coming up. Like, we have gotten in the habit of talking about the week. Like on Sundays, we talk about, here's my week. Here's what I've got going on. Here are the nights I'm going to be home late. Here's the nights you got to pick up Eddie, or the mornings you got to take Eddie to childcare. And that really has helped us. And we have a whiteboard on the refrigerator that identifies, here are the mornings and evenings I have meetings or you have meetings.
That she uses. I just found out the other day that she's like, it's on the menu. What are you talking about? It's on the board on the menu. When did that happen? She's, honey, it's been there. Like,
so
no.
I added to our whiteboard a section of just kind of meal planning, and it's very very brief. So for me, it helped just to know what needs to come out of the freezer, what items do I need to be sure I have in the cupboard for dinner. So I just kind of write the highlight, whether it's fish or spaghetti, or today was roast. And so yesterday, making sure the roast was out and put in the crock pot.
That was Italian beef.
Oh, it's Italian. What's in that, roast?
No.
Oh,
it's Italian beef.
What's the difference?
It's made with a piece of beef that's commonly called roast, but no, it's Italian beef. So, shred it all up in 24 hours in the crock pot.
Smelling good already.
I'm from the Chicagoland area where real food is made. Not hot dish and casseroles.
Unless the hot dish has potatoes in it, right? Or the
hash browns.
Hash browns.
Well, yeah, hash brown casserole. That's worldwide.
That's the
fantastic.
Best, right?
Yeah. We never get it. Never.
Oh, well, I'll put that on the list for next week.
Not unless I go to some funeral or some potluck or something, then maybe.
So communication is good. And this is just a system we use. So whiteboard and try and share things through the electronic calendar, which I'm not always as good at. I will take that. And one of the things I think you've taught me to do better in ministry is to delegate. I think that you've challenged me to think about, do I have to do this particular task that may have to be done outside of business hours, and challenging me to think of, could there be a volunteer? Could someone else on my staff do it? Like really challenging me to think about, is my presence, my knowledge, my expertise, my leadership needed for that particular meeting? Or could I delegate that and choose to be home? Take
a down minute or 10. And two, you got to be, you need to be conscious of it yourself. I know I've got a lot of friends, youth ministers, directors of youth ministers, DREs, all that, they want to put on an amazing event or an amazing class or whatever it may be. So they're striving for 110% to the point where they're, darn near killing yourself. 100% is good. 95 is still okay. 85, nobody knows the difference.
Progress over perfection. That's been my motto this year. Progress over perfection.
It's good to know.
Right? If you're writing a letter or you're putting together an email, or I'm, doing a PowerPoint presentation, getting it there. We don't want any misspellings. We want our organization, you want your parish to be represented well. But sometimes that dragging across the finish line to be 120% isn't worth the effort. And the Lord just says, you got to just go, present it to the world, present it to young people, present it to your pastor, whatever you're doing. And not that it's good enough, but God's going to work with whatever you put out there.
And it's amazing how many times, the little oopses, or that wasn't supposed to be that way. They did it exactly the way I told them not to. Nobody knows but you and maybe someone else on your staff. So don't forget about your family during those busy times. 97 times proofreading this is probably okay if I have, 3 spaces instead of 2, or now I'm told it's 1 space after period.
I know. I was just told that recently too. What is up about that?
It's lazy.
I don't know. I feel like my grammar is now all messed up, and my punctuation's all messed up in my head.
Now we're Paula,
we should bring Paula on to have her tell us about why this one space thing is important. It messes up when you go to Facebook and Instagram.
You can put more characters on a page.
Well, see, if you're twittering or tweeting.
Tweetering?
Tweeting. I suppose, you have 140 characters. I get it then. I get it. Only 1 space.
Why are you asking me?
That's true. Why am I asking you?
I have a Twitter account, so don't.
I think we do too. There. I don't even know. If we have one, Paula, put it in the chat where people can. I know.
Oh, geez.
Paula. Okay, some of you have met Paula. She's amazing. She makes us look good, sound good, everywhere.
I do. I think she had nothing to do with this stunningness here.
We had to adjust the light so there wasn't like.
Oh, what? Get out of here!
It's your halo back there.
Yeah.
Is your neck hurting?
Wait a minute. Yep.
Yeah, your neck's hurting. Yeah, the halo. It's starting to slip. It's getting heavy.
That's why it's the right side always hurts.
See, this is why someone in the marriage has to be like
the funny one, not serious all the time.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, Paula sends us some information here about this one space thing. So anybody who needs to know this is pretty good. The publication manual of the American Psychology Association has the only style guide that overly recommended 2 spaces after a period. Oh my goodness, imagine that. And even after that long time holdout for 2 spaces changed its guidelines in 2019. Wow, I feel so behind on that.
Don't care.
Well, it's going to mess with your social media posts and stuff. Let me tell you, I've been learning this.
I think we'll be all right.
That's why I like to go live, because you know what? I don't have to worry about spaces. No spaces.
What is people in ministry? Do y'all talk with your hands all the time too? Is that a thing?
So you haven't been watching Michael Hoffman. It's all about, this is all the space we have to communicate to people. And I think it's like 53% or something like that is about our what they see us do, right? Our actions.
Nobody can see you when you're down here on the table bouncing the camera. That's what drives me. I watch these videos later usually because I can't. I'm either watching Eddie or I watch these later and I'm like, stop.
Oh, it's not that bad. Well, you fix the table for me then. It needs some more solid legs on it.
Put 100 more pounds on top of it. It'll become solid. It's amazing.
That's awesome. So we've solved the 1 space problem today, or at least we know.
If you get nothing else from today's video, know that it's just 1 space after your periods.
I also think what's important in spouse and ministry is when we go out on date nights, we have to be really intentional about not just talking about work, not just talking about solving the church's problems, which, you know what?
Stop. Nope.
Oh, that's what.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what he says. Like, oh, what am I going to say? Oh, I want to talk. Oh, nope, can't talk about Franciscan Lead. Can't talk about Franciscan University. Can't talk about
partnership for you.
My staff, core team, volunteers, so finding other ways for you and your spouse to do things together. You know, whether that's going to the gun club and shooting, so different than going to do something in ministry. Let me tell you,
about the same.
It actually blows off a lot of steam though. So that might be a good one. Or maybe you hunt together, maybe you fish together, maybe you go camping together.
You don't do any of these things with me. So what
all the things you would
you
like.
heard at Facebook Live, we're doing these things, blow off steam. Camping.
We should set the tent out this weekend and try out the tent. Okay, if I go camping, it's
glamping.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. There's one place in my life that I'm a little bit of a drama queen. It's the camping. It's the camping. Come on. I mean, I'm willing to try the tent, but at home here, so we can just try it out.
Yeah, we're gonna try the tent with a cot. And a mattress on top of the cot, and home pillows, and a sleeping bag, and some.
And the bathroom close by, facilities close by.
Yeah. Nope, we're putting a bucket outside. We're gonna make it.
We have neighbors.
There's 2 rooms in the tent.
All right. So to do something together that is not about ministry, and I think to volunteer and do some things in ministry is important too. But to have outside interests, to go axe throwing, to
what's with you and the violence? How about you go on a hike, go walk in nature, go see something,
bike riding,
go sit and have a picnic. It doesn't have to be, some big extravagant thing or expensive things like that. What can you do? I mean, there's so many things to do depending upon where you're at too. Just go for a walk, go see what's out there, go for ice cream, leave the kids at home. You need to do some things just for you and your spouse. And so many of us in ministry are in ministry together, whether we actually get paid to do it or we're voluntold to help out. We both work in ministry a lot of the time. So sometimes it's difficult to find those times because you are so busy.
Mm-hmm.
Take a couple of hours, you know. We had one of the best things I learned on net, and it can be adjusted however you want. But, you know, if I were to walk up to you and give you $165, I think that's right, $165, pretty good deal. Just gonna give it to you. No strings attached.
Odd number, but yeah.
Spend whatever you want. One moment, I gotta double check. You can chat for a second here.
Oh, all right. So I don't know what I would do with $165. That's such an odd number, but I can't wait to hear what is going to happen to that $165.
Sorry, it's $168. Sorry,
okay, $168.
I was right, but wrong. So $168. Do whatever you want with it. Not a bad deal.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask for $1 back, is that still a pretty good deal?
Well, yeah.
Just give me $1 to do what I want with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the guy that told us this story was saying to us about young people and wanting to go to mass. You get 168 hours in a week. Do whatever you want. He asked for 1 hour to come back. Go to mass for 1 hour a week. Still a pretty good deal. You still got 167. Think of it for yourself, too. God gives you $168 to do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Take a couple of those dollars or hours and do something for yourself.
In your marriage.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I meant, honey.
Yeah, that's right. But that's what I meant too.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how much you love the kids, how much you love the young adults or the adults or whatever ministry you work in, whatever division of that. If you're not charged and recharged and on top of your game because you have some downtime and you're taking care of yourself, it doesn't matter how great you are. It carries over. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. It's just humanly not possible.
Well, but then we're trying to give from a place of depletion, right? Trying to give from a place of depletion. And God doesn't ask that of us. He asks us to give from a full cup. And there are many ways to fill your cup. And for each of us, that might be a little bit different. I think one thing that's universal when you work in ministry to fill your cup is to spend time in prayer, to spend time in adoration, to spend time in nature with the Lord, and then spending time with your spouse. And then, you know, maybe depending on whether you're an extrovert or introvert, there might be different things too that, you know, fill your cup. And so one, to recognize and to figure out what those are for you as an individual, and to make sure that you plan and schedule those times in your calendar.
And know what they are for your significant other as well.
I'm not going to be spending time in the dark.
I didn't say you're going to come with me. Just know what they are. Yeah. Like, oh, here, read this book. It was great. No, I'm dyslexic. I do not like to read. I might listen to it on audio if you give it to me, but I'm not going to, that's not enjoyable to me at all. She was super happy on Mother's Day that she got the new Magnolia magazine and spent hours paging through that thing. Mm-hmm. I'd rather poke my eyes out with a spoon. Just no. So know what things, you know, what are those relaxation things that your spouse loves to do? I'd rather go sit on a lake and fish with nobody bothering me, or go hunting, or just go out to the woods. During COVID, we had COVID, we were getting better. And I'm like, I just had to go for a drive. Like I had to run an errand or something. And I took the long way home. Like I just needed time.
Yeah.
Nothingness. So.
And I think all of us recognize this has been a stressful time for everyone. I think it's been a stressful time for the church. I think it's been a stressful time for those who work in the church. And for many of you, maybe you've had to take on other jobs in ministry that weren't part of your original job description or title because
you signed on to be a youth minister and now you're the parish administrator. Like,
or you're taking care of confirmation and, just doing other things too. So I think to recognize on both parts, what are ways we can be more intentional about how we love each other, and offering just a bit more grace and margins during those particular times that are overly stressful for those of us working in ministry and our spouses. So I'm delighted that you love what I do and that you cherish your faith in the church and know the importance of the work that we do at Partnership for Youth to help bring young people to Christ. And I couldn't do what I do every day if you didn't support that, if you didn't pray for me, if you didn't build me up and affirm what I'm doing. So thank you.
And make you laugh a little.
Get serious sometimes. Sometimes I get serious.
I don't know how you survived without me. How did you make it all those years?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it was a debacle, let me tell you, as you were trying to find your way to me.
Curmudgeon.
All right. So thank you for your service in the church.
Absolutely. We wouldn't be here without your help.
Yeah.
And it's often a thankless job. The kids, the priest, the other staff, the support staff, those kinds of folks get a lot of the praise when we know it's a lot more of the behind the scenes, the planning. Takes a whole year to plan a conference. I'm like, gosh, I can do this in a day, in 2 days. And it's like, no, there's really a lot.
Yeah.
There's really a lot more to it. So thank you for what you do and the sacrifices you give and the time away from your family and your loved ones and those kinds of things on the mission trips or the Steubenville conferences and those things. Yes, they recharge us, but they also exhaust us. Let's be honest.
Yes, they do. They do. And if you're looking for, if you aren't signed up yet for the Steubenville conference in Rochester this summer, it is July 23rd through the 25th. And
you should put that on the calendar.
With the restrictions of social distancing lifted, we have more space, so we can seat more people, and we would love to see you and your young people.
And did you see the speaker lineup? There was a little video y'all came out with.
Wasn't that amazing? It was so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Paula's got to put that in the comments here too. That was a great video she did. I know we've got Sister Miriam and Cooper Ray. Oh my gosh. We just got a rock star team coming. Father Burns and Sarah Swafford. Yeah.
Who's the other guy?
Chris Mueller. Yeah. And so please join us if you can. And if you're already registered, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you this summer.
Bring some more kids, though.
Yeah, bring more kids.
You're coming already.
We're also in need of volunteers. So if you maybe can't bring a group, or maybe you're friends with us on Facebook and you're not a youth minister, you're a parent, or you came to the conference as a teen, you're a young adult, we would love to have you come and serve with us for the weekend. You can find information on volunteering on our website. And thank you for your service.
And who knows, you might even find a spouse.
Look at that. All right. Next week, we'll have Maggie Craig with us. Oh my gosh. We're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings and faith. Another movie I've not watched from start to finish, so it'll be great.
I just got to be in ministry. Why can't I do something fun like that? I'm married to ministry. The hard stuff. Like, let's talk.
All right. Bye. God bless you all.
2 spaces after the period.
1.